Right, so we'll begin the meeting. So I don't think we have to do welcome or introductions, but everybody knows Richard.
See ya.
Yes, thank you for coming back.
And I don't know if you have any public comment. I'm sure.
I like the brochure that was sent out. Nice work.
I'm glad everybody got it this time.
Yeah, oh, that's great. I liked how you could click on to join.
Yeah.
That was a nice feature.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so I guess the first thing on our agenda is to approve the public meeting minutes of 5/21/24, and they were sent out a few weeks ago. Yes. So are there any questions or everybody, any corrections or? Do I have a motion to approve those meeting minutes?
I'll make the motion to approve the public meeting minutes on May 21st.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I think you have two abstentions though.
I'm abstaining.
Okay.
because I wasn't here.
Okay,
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
No.
okay.
Two.
But, yeah,
Oh,
that's-
you're-
well, I'm an alternate now.
Right.
Just.
You can actually go today for Susan.
Okay.
Right.
All right, the second is to accept the donations of $278. Do I have a motion to accept those?
Motion to accept.
A second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Anyone opposed? Okay, great. Okay, treasurer's report, Melanie.
All right, so our, the interest earned across our interest-bearing accounts in the month of May was $2.42. And the amount of liquid funds available at this time is $66,814.39. And we do have another one of our CDs that is coming to term on June 25th, and we need to decide what we would like to do with those funds. So I had sent out, and then, or in the email that Susan had sent out, there were some different options, anywhere between 1 month and 6 months, and varying interest rates. So I'm curious what everyone's.
If everyone has
I'll
that.
see if I can do that out.
I can review. So the highest interest rate at this time would be the 2-month option at 4.85%, which is actually pretty good. Like we did the one previous to this, we ended up selecting a 4% interest rate. So these are up quite a bit. So that's the highest, 4.85 for 2 months, and then kind of goes from there. The 3-month goes down just a little bit at 4.84%. 4 months is at 4.82%, 5 months at 4.80%, and 6 months at 4.77%. I don't know if we want to go with the highest option and do the 2-month, or if we want to go for a longer option that, for a little bit less of an interest rate and do something like this.
You have a recommendation?
I personally think that it would be the best use of our money to go with the highest interest rate, since it's very little work for me to, exactly. And that would be my suggestion, but I'm open to.
Well, there's not that much difference between any of them.
The next highest is what, the 4 month?
The 3-month
The 3 month?
was just one tenth of a percent.
Yeah, it's a 0.1%. There's only 0.5% between all of them, I think, if I remember. Right now, it looks like the one we have for 12 months is 4.9, and the others are 4, 5.3, 4.32, and 4.2.
Yes, we have one at 4% right now. That was a 6-month. We have one, a 12-month at 4.90. That's the one that's expiring.
So,
We have one expiring in at the end of August at 5.30.
we saw this go up a little bit from the last time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
The one of them shows maturity date of 1/25/24, which is already passed.
It's already passed, but it remains on the report because, this is a 6 month.
Yeah, that was showing it in December. And then-
Okay, so that's rolled over? Or? So which one of the two ones that have already expired then? They're the two TV bank ones?
The one with the maturity date of 1/25/24. That one's expired. So see how in May, it doesn't have anything posted. Those have expired, but they still remain on the report because it's a 6 month.
Right, but if they've expired, we've redone them, right?
Correct.
Yes.
So
Okay.
it's, I'm just looking at, are those the two TD at the top, the one that expires in October, the one that expires now, those replace the ones that?
Yes.
Okay.
so there's one due in August and then when's the one after August?
October.
Yeah, I mean, I like the 2 month option there, get the post bank for a buck over 2 months. It seems to have been trending up since we previously looked at it about a month or two ago.
Mhm.
And it's an election year, so a lot of the times, a lot of things stay pat financially. So it's probably not gonna go up or down a whole lot either way. That'd be my 2 cents.
Okay. What else?
Any other discussion?
But we don't think anything's gonna change because of the election, and you can go a longer period too.
You certainly can.
But, I mean, to me, it's,
He gives us the
Well,
option to reevaluate.
but 3 months to
That's-
July, August, September.
Right.
To me, it depends what that's due on top of an election. I'll make a motion that, we approve of, turning the CD and, renewing it for 2 months at 4.85%.
I would second.
You'll
that
second?
motion.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
And that's at what rate?
That would be at 4.85%.
All in favor? Opposed? Yes. And could we have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
I'll make the motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm using that.
All in favor?
I'm never gonna be able to do the treasures, you know.
I get it.
All in favor? Opposed? Great. So I think because Damon is not here, we're on to you, Liz.
Run right to the director's report, staffing updates. We were fully staffed for yesterday, and now we've got somebody out for 6 weeks for surgery this summer. It was yesterday was a wonderful day. Wendy was back and we were fully staffed. But we do have a ton of volunteers for the summer reading program, so luckily we will have them. We will probably utilize them to do board books and shelve the easier stuff and do the volunteer tasks while she's out. It was suggested after we went to the NHLTA meeting that we might want to change the social media and technology library assistant's position title to the digital services library assistant title. The thinking being that Joe, our new library assistant in that position, is not just simply sitting on Facebook all day. She's actually doing more than Facebook. She's helping patrons with their phones and their computers and their laptops. And yeah, she's doing more than social media. And that we wondered why we had so many people who wanted to apply for that job. I think they all told us they were great on Facebook. That's not the job. You actually have to. So we were considering making that change. Trustees have to vote on that or anything, but we should. What else? The summer reading program, as I said, Wendy has more volunteers and she knows what to do with. And I think it's because of that postcard. It went out right before. And it said, if you want to volunteer at the library this summer, you know, the form, the this, that, the whole thing. So we're very pleased with that. I'm glad to hear everybody got their postcard.
Yeah.
Last time there were some people on some routes who didn't get them. No. What else? We are in the middle of dealing with this, with possibly going with citywide facilities. We sent the contract to the town attorney in Primex, who sent it back to us with what they thought we needed to change. And I sent that back to citywide. Didn't hear anything from them. Got an email from Connor last night at like 5:30. They're trying to contact him to discuss it with him. I don't know why they suddenly jumped over to, they wanted to have a phone call with him this morning between 10 and 12. And I said, gee, I'm really sorry. I sent it to them, told them to get back in touch with us. And now he said, maybe they consider you to be the town attorney. I don't know. So he replied back to them to get back in touch with us. I'm still waiting for them to get back in touch with me, which makes me wonder what's going on. Yes. As everyone see, the new generator was installed last Wednesday.
That's huge.
It's installed, but it's not installed. It's here. It's not hooked up yet.
It looks great.
Does it do the entire building?
It's supposed to do the entire building. It's paid for with ARPA funds, and I have been assured by Jim that the mess in the parking lot is going to be cleaned up. I do not know when. But it's a good thing that it's a small mess, because last Wednesday, the whole parking lot was.
We should have dug up some more plants.
Yeah. Is there an estimated day or time when the generator will be online? That'll be
Not yet. Today, I talked with the roof guy who came to look at the holes, and there are holes in the roof. Came to look at the holes in the roof. We have not had major leaking. The last time we had it was in February, when we had slush and snow and a major rainstorm, and the guy wanted to actually talk to me about, well, what are we doing over at the other building? But he told me to call him if we have any leaks. I think they're going to be patching them. They're not going to be redoing the roof on this building. What else building wise? I do have an invoice from Userful. This is usually a bill that we pay out of the technology funds. It is the control program for the back public computers, allows people to log on and log off. Unfortunately, they sent this bill to me right after our last meeting. It's for $717. And of course, they want it paid by Thursday, which there's probably not, unless I charge it and then try to get reimbursed. No, but I charged the postcard posted on the charge card. And all that will be reimbursed by the friends. So I'm wondering if I have enough space on the credit card to pay for this. But anyways, it has to be noted in the minutes at some point that you approve that this is paid out of it. So I just want to get that one out of the way before I forgot that one.
So should we make a motion to approve that?
What's the vendor again?
Userful?
And if it needs to be paid by Thursday, can you send them a check?
I can send them a
So
check.
you can write a check.
I can write a check.
And then,
Yeah,
And then get reimbursed for the technology.
and then don't worry about it.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. As soon as I have it and I can pay, I'll just pay it. And then,
Yeah.
once I have the minutes, and then I can send it to Lynn.
You need the minutes.
Yeah.
Could I ask people to speak up?
Yeah.
Because we don't want to turn off the air conditioning. So.
So I would need a motion we would need a motion
Yes.
to pay $717 from the tech fund.
Yes.
773.
No, $717.
Oh.
Yeah. Dollars to Userful. You want to look at this too?
Oh, thank you.
The name.
That's helpful.
Yeah, I have not seen that yet, no, because it came.
Yeah, they sent it to me and they sent it to Joe. We both got copies of it via email. Nobody sends you bills in the mail anymore. And that's the other thing, postage is going up July 14th, if anybody's
Oh.
curious.
So do I have a motion?
Like, well, is it okay for Melanie to initial
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Okay. Do I have a motion from someone to approve? $717.
I will make the motion to approve the $717 from the tech fund to pay for the circle.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. I wondered too if we should go back to make a motion on the changing the name from social media and technology library assistant to digital services library assistant.
Very good idea. I'll make a motion to change the name from social media and technology library assistant to digital services library assistant.
And the second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great. So those two things are changed.
Okay, thank you. The summer reading program starts on this Saturday. We are keeping our fingers crossed for good weather because the man who's coming with the high flying dogs does not do rain dates.
I think the weather's supposed to be good.
It looks okay.
Yeah.
Luckily, we aren't gonna have tomorrow's weather for it. Those poor dogs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Get a lot of water.
Yeah. we don't get a lot of water. Both of the fires did pass their back.
Oh, good.
No axe murder. Very convenient.
And I did replace the flag. I ordered 2 from Amazon. I put a new one out on the pole now. I have a reserve one in my office and I retired the old one up at the town hall. And anybody have any questions? That's about all I have right now.
I have a question on the stats.
Mm-hmm.
There's the one column, it says HQ services. What's the HQ?
Heritage Quest.
Okay, so that explains why the difference in numbers from 2023 to 2020.
Yes.
That's fine.
Yeah, we no longer, Ancestry is still there. I should take that off and probably put in something else. We stopped subscribing to Ancestry last year. It's the in-library one. Most people do not want to come into the library to use it, and it went up to $475 from $410. Heritage Quest is the one that they can use at home.
Okay,
Most people want to use it at home, but seeing as we aren't having a 300th anniversary or anything like that, the numbers have gone down. But I do have a program booked for November that's going to involve genealogy and cooking. So I'm thinking that maybe we can start to promote this. Yeah.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Talk about that.
Did we?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's,
okay.
that's
The
the
next
next,
thing.
that's
Okay.
the next thing.
Did we have to have a vote to change the title of the technology assistant?
We
Because
did, yes, we just did.
the title of the technology.
We just did that. When you, no, that's okay.
Okay.
So then, do you know who made the motion?
I think I made the motion. Yeah.
Yes, you made
I
the motion.
made the motion to change the name.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I got that written down. I just,
I guess I seconded it.
Yeah, I think you
And
did.
Susan seconded.
Yeah, Susan saying,
I got it. Well, and again.
yeah, what the heck were we doing?
Okay, so if everyone would please speak up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Really helpful.
And did you hear that, Liz is gonna need a draft copy of the minutes ASAP to pay that bill.
No, I didn't get it out, but I
Okay.
will get it. Okay,
All
that's
right,
good. Thank you.
sure.
So we're on to building project.
Okay, yes, I have the meeting minutes from the May 16th meeting. It's May 16th? Yes. Actually, the June 6th draft minutes. It was a meeting, everybody came, the room was packed. We went over a fair number of items. The big issue for discussion was the mechanical system, meaning the HVAC. And as well as the fact that they had just been over visiting Eckhart and Johnson, who we chose for the HVAC system, a man named Jared Richard. He came over afterwards. They went up over there and they went in the attic and they went through oh yes.
Oh, good.
They were a little, it was warm that day. They were a little warm after being up in the attic. They think, Bowen says that in order to improve the efficiency of the building, we're definitely going to need to improve the envelope. The insulation up there isn't as thick as they'd like it. Some of it's crumbling. It was recommended that we vacuum up the existing insulation, or vacuum up some of the gross stuff that's there. And that's going to be covered in the demolition budget, is what I am told. Cost for new insulation is going to be about $20,000. And an aero barrier would be used to address the infiltration issues at a cost of $10,000 to $15,000. Apparently, there's only two installers in the state of New Hampshire who can do that. Third, they're going to re-insulate to R60, install baffles to prevent heat loss. So, and Jason then suggested that we add foam insulation below the blown-in insulation to further improve. This is going to be insulated. We're going to insulate the heck out of that area up there. I mean, it's only 21 years old. I'm not sure what happened up there in the first place. Most of the cost, we were told, was going to be covered in the existing budget. Some funding may need to be found elsewhere. Makes me nervous. Yeah, using monies elsewhere prevents us from furnishing or shelving our library. But Bowen noted that there's definitely going to be savings in plumbing, because whatever they'd estimated for it, it's going to come in at like $20,000 less than that. So we did agree that they would improve the insulation and they would put in the new barrier and that they would blow in some extra. Then Jared Richard from Eckhart and Johnson, he described our three options for the HVAC system. The first was to replace the three oldest furnaces with four new propane ones. 4 because you need an extra one to keep the meeting room, so the meeting room could have its own thermostat, so that we wouldn't be mixing zones and having people freezing in the meeting room, but too warm out in the library and vice versa. So we're going to replace the 3 with the 4. And that was the option that was used in creating the budget. The AC would be replaced with an emergency recovery ventilation system. And Eckhart and Johnson's estimate for that option was about $312,000, which was $50,000 below what was budgeted. It was like, the second option was for an electric system, replacing the present system entirely with 9 air exchange heat pumps, allowing us to have individual thermostats in the meeting rooms as well. And energy recovery ventilation would be used in the first option. That's a strange one. The cost of the second system was going to be $412,000, which is about $50,000 over budget. The third option we called the Cadillac model, which was, it would last us forever and we'd be truly happy with the results, but it was going to cost $518,000. we couldn't go with that one. And we actually got some savings because Jared had included in the budget a control system that would allow us to control the heat and the air conditioning from outside the building, like somebody at home can be like, oh, yeah, you could tell, like it is with your Siri or your Alexa. And we cut that out. That saved us a whole pile of money. And so they cut that option out of every single one, which actually brought down each of them by about $40,000. Something you can install later on should you want it. And it would have been cool, but we don't need to know what temperature it is in the library. But it would be nice. We did have the man from Resilient Buildings Group, and he has sent me a bill that I guess we are going to have to sign off on. Come to describe the energy charrette, the results from the charrette. And what we figured out was the propane system, the first choice, the propane system without envelope improvements, if you don't have solar, it's going to cost you $15,394 a year to cool the building. If you have solar, it's going to cost you $5,600. That would just simply be the cost of propane. If you had the propane system with the envelope improvements, without solar, it's going to be $14,700 to heat and cool. If you have solar, it's $4,700. And then if you chose the electric heat pump system with envelope improvements, without solar, it would be $13,000, but with solar, it's $2,800. So we discussed that a little bit, and they decided to go with the electric / heat pump system with the envelope improvements and forego the propane. Not everybody agreed with that.
A lot of cost savings though, every year.
It is. My only worry is the fact that we don't have it budgeted anywhere in the budget. So I hate to have all our monies that we fundraise go to solar and then move into the building without. But I was assured that the Energy Committee is going to make sure that this happens. So that's where we stand on that. And we just had a basic update on owner responsibilities, telecommunications. I've got to work with Connor to talk with their system. It's as though our system hates us here. When they were installing that generator, our phones really didn't work at all. All the wiring must be old or tied together. People were calling us and they could hear us, but we couldn't hear them, or they were breaking up. So we're gonna have to move to a different system anyways. Security, we are gonna use the town's vendor. We are definitely gonna need a security system down on 125. Moving, I met with a library mover based in Springfield, National Library Relocators, a couple weeks ago, and she sent me she came in and did a marvelous job, went over everything, soup to nuts, calling me in every room, asking me, are you going to take this? Are you going to take this? Are you going to take this? She came back with an estimate of, if we are simply moving from point A to point B, $40,000. So that's the other thing I'm worrying about, costs. Colin Williams said that he will get in touch with the people that they've used to move differently at UNH and see if we can get in touch with them as well. The library relocations further told me that if we needed to move from point A to storage and then to point B, it goes up by $20,000 just about every time.
Now, can a lot of this stuff, they can do some, and then I've got a truck, people with trucks can move a lot of this stuff ourselves to save cost.
We can. There's probably some liability at this point. I don't know. We haven't talked to Primex about having people potentially come in and get injured or put their back out or something, or do something to their truck. We can certainly do that. It's an option. our biggest worry is about at least getting someone to help us move the books.
Right.
I've moved libraries before, both ways. It's a lot easier if you can have somebody who does it as their day job, come in and do it. And we did pick Tucker Library Interiors. They came just a couple days after the relocation woman. And because we have a history with them, she knew everything. She knew which shelves we should not take, which ones we will not be able to put up again. And she's been in touch with Jason, working with him on that. The only problems that we are seeing, our next meeting of the building committee is going to be on June 27th. The main problem is the fact that what's happening with rec is now happening. The time frame is pretty much the same as ours. Anybody who went to the select board meeting last Monday, Connor did explain that all along when they were applying for this grant and when they were trying to get the money, they petitioning to get the money after they were denied the grant, they kept assuring the state and the other funders, whoever they be, ARPA funds, that they would be able to spend this money in this time frame. He did say, Connor also said that there would definitely be some disruptions to rec and library services. And I think it's a foregone conclusion that we're not going to be here next summer to do summer reading, and we're going to have to come up with some contingency plans. Because they have not got, last Monday, they had not gotten the schedule from whoever their construction people are. But I think they want to be here by like March. Correct. They need to start demolishing. They're going to start working on that east wall first, because that clearly needs to be replaced. Not our wall with them, but the outside wall. But then they're going to have to move. They're going to need stairs and an elevator. That's coming into our space. So I just get the impression that if they need to spend their money by August of 2025, it's gonna be tight. Jason our architect was sort of pushing back, and maybe we could be in by June. But I'm looking at the library locations and saying, yeah, we're going to be at point A to storage. There's going to be disruptions. I don't know. We will probably more than likely be closed for some amount of time. I don't know how long. I don't know when. And we will have to figure out how we're going to offer the summer reading next year.
I think the rec could help with the cost of storage if that had to be.
Good question.
I didn't ask that. It would be, they do have, Connor was saying they have like 1.4 million because they have their million that they got, and then they kicked in like 100,000, and then we kicked in 300,000 from the bond. So they've got like a $1.4 million budget. What that includes, I've not seen. Just put it out there.
Would be worth exploring summer reading program happen at middle school or elementary school?
It can, when I talked to Connor earlier, I said, does the town have any place they can put us?
Yeah.
Because we can't go out and rent a place or anything of that day. There are a couple of rooms in the elementary school. I think they have space there, but everything's in play.
Right. You see,
I don't know.
What was the question?
ECLC building.
Yeah.
It's right next to it. It might seems like.
I was very glad I went to that select board meeting to find out that's why, because we were wondering how had we gotten here, and that's why.
Yeah.
It was good. Any questions?
So the invoice of your two,
This is from Resilient Building. I'm assuming this is one that you and I and Susan, this is going towards the charrette. Just $1,500.
Okay.
If you want to look at that, that's my only copy. I can make another copy.
So we have to, do we have to make a motion then for this invoice? Okay. So, would someone make a motion to pay $1,500 to pay for the charrette?
A little louder, please.
Yeah, and I can give this to you too, by Resilient Builders. To pay this invoice.
So moved.
Okay.
Thank you.
So a charrette
As
is,
a shred was really an intense discussion of efficiencies in buildings, insulation, heating,
It's kind of
plumbing.
figuring out like, do we have any goals that we want to hit
Yeah.
as far as efficiency is concerned? And then it could, how do we meet those goals and with certain levels of insulation or?
You also call it consulting fee.
Yes.
but I think the difference was it's a charrette because it's already a building that has, it's not a new build, right? Because a new build is called something else.
Yeah, well, because it's like the two differences was like you could have a charrette or you could have an audit, I want to say. And it wasn't an audit.
No, it
It
wasn't.
was a charrette, and the charrette, I think it has more public input, like less input from the speaker or like the consultant who comes out. They just kind of take our goals and then plug it into their system and say, this is what you got to do. Type of-
Interesting word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
Yeah.
I'm about this.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the different cost savings.
Rates will make sure.
Yeah. I'm glad you asked that.
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
I seconded.
Susan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Right.
I have some questions. Liz, it says total fee is 4,100. Is this the third installment of that?
I have seen no other bills from them, so I knew it was for 40 something.
Yeah.
And so I
Total
wasn't
fee
sure
40.
what was going on, whether that's just part of it, because they said some of it might be paid, might go through New Hampshire Saves.
Does he come and consult throughout as well? I couldn't remember if we were gonna do that or not.
I don't know.
I don't remember that in the.
No, I don't remember it,
No.
no. There was talk of doing like the blower test once you get the,
Mhm.
and I think that's something he would participate in.
Great.
But I think the blower test is already budgeted in.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Foundation update. Is this to you?
I don't know. I did not go to the meeting. I got updated by Susan after the meeting. Most of the discussion was, the future of the foundation. Some of the foundation members thought as soon as we got the vote passed, we were going to dissolve the foundation. Job done. It's hard to get a foundation set up. And there's going to be other fundraising needs down the line. So, and the Friends do not want to be the ones fundraising for furniture or specific library needs like that. So they're in the middle of discussing where we're going from here. I think we're going to, they purchased a fundraising software called Little Green Light. They did that in January. They purchased, the services of a consultant at the same time. The consultant had some issues, so she couldn't work with them as much as they wanted. Chris Pavlik's the treasurer still. She would like to really be done now. At the beginning of the other meeting, she said she'd be willing to be done in December, and then it went to September, and then it went to July. So we were getting the impression that, she's put an awful lot of time and energy into it.
Long time.
So she's really done. She's kept all the, money on a spreadsheet, her own spreadsheet. And she's had Sarah Fissner helping her move it on Sarah's trained in Little Green Light. So I don't know what their plans are, but I'm assuming, I don't know if they're having a meeting on July 2nd or not. I hadn't heard. But I think that their plans right now are to keep discussing where we go from here. They did give their check to the select board last Monday, which was it 409,000?
Yeah.
So they, they've gotten through that push there. Now they're trying to figure out where they're going to use their energies next. So we prefer them to remain. I think they're tired. They're kind of burned out, and I don't blame them at all. So we're hoping that, either a membership drive or something of that nature. Sarah just joined this year. She's full of energy. She could take over the fight.
We could listen to the building committee and see what's over budget.
And it's funny because we keep every time the building committee, it's like, well, there's this there, but you still have contingency. And I keep thinking, I want to hold on to my contingency as long as possible. Just because it's nice to have some money.
Mm-hmm.
So we're on to a Friends report, and very exciting, those who don't know, is that we made over $5,622 at the plant sale, which is more than we've ever made.
Keep going up.
It keeps going, and I really didn't think,
Reputation.
well, we had 40, I think Carolina counted 40 people waiting in line. There was a line that you were supposed to be
Waiting.
Are you selling pot?
I would like to say that Lydia worked incredibly hard
Everybody
getting
works hard.
plans. Yeah, but she really did. And including the time she came over here when she found out about that area being scout out. Saved all those plans, which we sold.
And we sell them.
Oh, the hospice alone that I done from that space, we made hundreds of dollars at the sale. Because I was able to divide them up and it looked so nice. Yeah, but I didn't know they were gonna take so much. I would have taken more.
No, No, and they were totally fine with that. The day before, Jim came over and said, "Have you got everything out of there that you wanted?" Like, oh, yeah. So.
It's great news.
So thank you, Lydia.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was great.
Yeah.
We had lots of help and it was a beautiful day. Yeah, so it worked very well. And the Friends had an ice cream social for new members last Saturday here at the library, and that was very nice too. Very
There are
nice
about
time.
24 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Friends membership is the highest.
That was total there.
Yeah, total. I think it's the highest membership we've ever had.
About 80.
Yeah, about 80 friends now,
80
so it's
friends.
great. We quite a few
Yeah.
people joined at the
80.
plant sale. So it's great,
Yeah, a lot of people joined. Yeah.
more than ever, I think,
Yes.
joined. It's very good.
But this does include the books too.
Yes, so it's not just plants, it's the plant and book sale. And new memberships,
And membership.
but wasn't just plants. All right, so old business, so it just says, so Richard, you said you were up for vote at the next select board meeting? Okay. to become an alternate.
No, they voted on it last Monday.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh,
It just needs to be sworn in.
Oh,
It needs yeah, they did.
Oh,
It needs to be sworn in.
Yeah.
I'll get sworn in.
Yeah, I think if we look at,
Not the meeting, just the town hall.
Yeah, just so town
They'll
hall.
call you,
So-
they usually, once the meeting minutes have been published, who is it, Tiffany?
Tiffany,
They'll
yeah,
call you and say you need to go down to town hall, and take her.
or she'll send it to me, she'll send me.
It's very easy, you can go in anytime.
you can go ahead and
So that means in the minutes, I can list him as officially being an alternate. He's gonna be voted on.
He has to be sworn in.
I'm sorry.
He has to be sworn
Sworn
in.
in.
Yes.
I do give
Do
it
that too. We all get sworn in.
Yeah, we all can, in when you're elected.
But can you put in the minutes that the select board,
Yes, yeah.
Yes. Right. And I guess now, anyone who would like to talk about the conference, the NHLTA conference, and any reports, says reports from attendees. Was not able to attend. Did anyone have anything that they wanted to share about the conference or?
I don't think the food is as good as it used to be.
Tip and slide.
We had coffee.
That's not what you're saying.
In the morning.
Oof.
Artificial intelligence.
Yeah,
It was very scary, some of the stuff that they were talking, all the digital stuff, and the artificial intelligence is now teaching itself.
Well, that's, I've read
It's
some,
done learning from us, it's on its own,
and
and
it's even learned how to cheat
yes, it has.
by itself.
but I think another message was it's not as if libraries haven't gone through technology
No.
changes before, and it's, in some ways, it's very similar in the process. The skills are different.
Yeah, I think we have to educate the public, because I know now if I'm on my phone and I see, you will always get, now you have you're looking something up and you get the AI brief blurb about it. It's like, I didn't used to get that. I used to just get my results. So I think we're gonna have to educate people. It's like, yes, that just came up, that's written by
The cloud.
the cloud. You might want to do a little bit deeper dive.
Yeah.
We're always trying to encourage people to keep going.
One of the other ones I went to is preparing for challenging conversations. It was really interesting, but basically understanding our policies. And so that because the more you understand the policies, the more calm you can remain when somebody is trying to challenge you. But also, if there is a real question, you turn it over to have them make an appointment with it, that you don't try to deal with it right
Right
now
then.
when people are emotionally charged.
And Caroline and I went to the one on non-public.
Oh,
Non-public session, right. So we're experts now.
Wow.
okay.
I don't think we have to do a non-public.
No.
We're good.
Okay, we don't have to demonstrate.
Demonstrate your knowledge.
But that was a good session, and usually those right to know sessions are really informative, and it's to me, it's incumbent on the speaker to be able to handle the amount of information and all the questions. There are just the speaker rarely goes more than 10 minutes without questions starting to pop up already. And he did a great job, and it was very available afterwards for questions, but it did go through some of the RSAs, but again, different backgrounds in understanding what non-public is, why doing it certain ways. Very helpful.
And he did clarify for us,
I like that.
he said that when we vote on the minutes while we're in the non-public session, while we're in that, he said that's a good policy. It's not in the regulations, but he said that's a really good way to do it. And then also when you come out into public session, that's when you determine whether something's going to be officially sealed or not. But he clarified that for us and said that what we were doing was a good way to be doing it. So,
But the decision to seal the minutes has to be voted on in a public session.
right.
So in non-public, we could talk about should we or shouldn't we, but the official record of it has to happen in public session.
Right. That was good to know. And we have 10 years to go and review the stack of non-public minutes that were never officially dealt with. And so we're doing a spreadsheet and trying to do that. Hopefully it won't take us 10 years to do it. So.
But for me, what was new is that in 2022, that regulation was passed that we need to be keeping a spreadsheet of all non-public sessions and the decision about the minutes.
Right.
So that we have to together.
Yeah.
So that means every time we go in, we need to have a record of that, and we don't have to go before 2022 on. That makes sense?
Right, right.
But we're on to new business and this again with your policies and procedure privacy. And obviously,
That was intense.
Well, the last time it was updated was 2015. In looking at it, it needed to be split out into privacy policy versus procedures, because a lot of the policy, a lot of what we had, that's what I'm finding and everything, we've just got it on there. It's a big glob and it's figuring out what should be taken out and what shouldn't. So what I did, I actually went to Hopkinton Town Library to look at their privacy policy, which is just a beautiful single sheet. So I sort of did a takeoff on that to write the basics about it. And then I added some of our, information we may gather and retain. We require certain personal information in the Patriot Act, which we had in there, and they don't. But then I also put the RSAs just at the end, just as an added filler in case anybody really needs to do that much reading. I think that takes care of most everything that goes on here that we needed to take care of, and then everything else was pretty much, this is how staff needs to deal with opening a child's card. We're dealing with a parent who wants to know what their child has on their card if we don't have permission, who to send the overdue notice to. And the big one is the handling of requests for patron information from law enforcement, which we all hope and pray never happens, but I've worked at libraries where it has.
Do you want edits to you?
Yes.
Okay,
So yeah, I just broke it out.
okay,
Any edits, changes, suggestions, anyone?
okay.
Because I first started working on our old one, which is, showing me all the corrections, and it's huge and it's big. So let's just break it down into a few parts. Any corrections or something?
and should we vote on that next month then?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
And then next month I will be sending out the internet acceptable use policy, which I'm splitting out into. There's guidelines which patrons need to know about, and there's policy that we need to deal with when they have issues. So,
So X go to Liz
yes.
and we'll vote on it next month. Okay. Great, and then custodial services?
Custodial services, Chris has been coming in. Chris, well, he works at UNH during the year. I don't know as he works as much during the summer. So he's been coming in every day. The only problem is our vacuum is still at Ozier's because it's a German vacuum and they had to order a whole new part for it. And apparently they put it on the slow boat from Germany. So luckily Chris has been bringing his own vacuum in, and his own cord. I'm going to call Ozier's again and say, please. As I said, we did get the stuff from Citywide, the corrections from the town hall, sent them over to Citywide, who then wanted to respond to the town hall, not us. No, you need to come back to us. So update. I'm assuming I will be calling him again to find out what's going on with that. I don't know whether he doesn't want to deal with the middleman anymore or whether they really just can't abide the changes that we wanted.
So do you clarify that? So you're waiting to hear more, get more research from the citywide.
Citywide has the changes that our town attorney and Primex asked for.
Okay,
Stop it.
I sent them that information. They tried to get back in touch with Connor to discuss it with him, not me. So I don't know where.
but you're still considering changing to that.
We are still considering changing to that. Of course, it's one of those, depending on when we have to leave here or how compressed our time frame gets and how much time they want to allow us. It's all up in the air. Everything's in play.
BBD.
Yes.
And no non-public, so I make a motion.
You don't want any help more?
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
It's the shortest meeting we've ever